Hello. I thought it would be fun to record some of the stuff about how the bakery works, both for kind of my own enjoyment and kind of documenting it, because I've learned a lot of stuff and I hadn't got any kind of formal sort of small business or food or pastry training. And to log it so that other people could follow what we've done, maybe build on it, do something even better. And but also for kind of your home baking stuff, I thought that some of the stuff that I've learned going from a home baker to kind of professional business person, it might be useful to people. So I was going to do a few of these short ones. And the first one I want to do, one of the joys of running your own bakery is suddenly all that stuff that you can't justify buying when you're at home, you can suddenly buy and have to play around with because you need it for the bakery. It's critical for your next grand cake confection. So, and I love talking about equipment. And I'd really love to know what's your favourite bit of stuff that makes a really big difference in your kitchen. What's your favourite tool, thing, whatever. Yeah, just share it. Write it. I think you were meant to say under in the comments. Write it in the comments or whatever. Anyway, this is my top 5. So I've assembled it into a top 5 to add a bit of zhuzh and excitement. So number 5, in my sac magique. Right, silicone. Okay, so this is silicone mat. I love silicone mats. I'm not a massive fan of silicone moulds. We do use them, but there's a silicone mould for everything, and they're sort of a bit. I don't know. It's not cheating really, silicone moulds, but they. I don't know. They sort of take some of the fun out of it. But anyway, so silicone mats though. Silicone mats are really good at home, and I would buy. So this is a 600 by 400. This is one of the things I've learned. There's different bakery tray standards. So this is a European tray size, so 600 by 400. So you'll see really big silicone moulds that fits onto 600 by 400 trays. So it's kind of a universal system of alignment. But this is a silicone mat, and I use these all the time. I say probably more at home. We used to bake the macarons on these, but and they bake really well, macarons on silicone molds, silicone mats. But they are a nightmare to wash and actually to get dry. So if you've got 70 of these with your lovely, beautiful shells on, and then the next day you've got to clean them all and have them all dry for the next day, it gets a little humid in your kitchen. It's like a rainforest, a less fun rainforest. And so yeah, silicone mats. And so I buy big ones and then I cut them to shape, cut them to size. So whatever, if you're, kind of roasting tins, trays, you just snip them, scissors, buy them online. They're brilliant. Stick kind of cookies on them, sausage rolls, bake anything quick. You don't have to cut paper out, and you just kind of tray, whack, oven, done. So silicone mats, really good. But get a good quality one. Don't get that stuff that kind of crinkles. It's a bit like cardboard, but silicone. That's dodge. Get these thick. Look, see? You see that? Thick old boy. Right, that's number 5. Jeopardy building. Number 4, what should we have for number 4? Let's go with, the offset spatula. Right, crank handled if you're Australian. Hello, Australians. Look, see, look, right. It's not just a flat spatula, comme ça. It's got a little bend on it. These make you feel like a proper pastry chef. Like that little mouse guy in the hat on Ratatouille. He's the best chef in the world. We need more mice chefs. Anyway, so these make you feel like a pastry chef. They're really good for icing things. So one of my favourite things to do, if you want a really flat, beautiful top to a cake, so build it in a ring mould like that. That's a ring mould. You can do all sorts of stuff. You slightly overfill with ganache or buttercream or whatever your top is, and then you do this. Just the noise. Look at that. Very satisfying, and you get this beautiful flat top. And then you put it in the fridge or freezer to set, and then pop it off, and you've got a beautiful. And everyone goes, "Oh, this is incredible! You're an incredible pastry chef." And you just got a flat. Crank handled offset spatula. I use them also at home all the time for cooking kind of bits of protein or whatever. Really good for gyozas in a pan. You've got a nice crispy bottom gyoza, sort of frozen gyozas in, let them cook a bit of water, steam them, and then evaporate the water off and cook the bottom, and then you get them off with one of these. It's lovely, or just flipping over little bits of fish or chicken or whatever. Yeah, so offset spatulas. I'm on board with this. Thanks, Mum. There you go. Beautiful. Right. Number 3 on the list. Right. You want cheap bowls. Don't spend loads of money on bowls, because a bowl is a bowl. There is only so much you can do with a bowl. I mean, maybe you want some metal ones and some plastic ones that go in the microwave or whatever, but a bowl is a bowl is a bowl. But spend your money on spatulas and expensive spatulas, expensive whisks. This is an expensive spatula. This is about £17-18, which is ridiculous for a spatula, but it isn't ridiculous because of its friendly, fun characteristics. First up, it's got a notch. Look, notch. Uh-oh. Getting nice and into the corners of your bowl. Second thing, it's got little wedges, little ridges. Look, can you see that? On there. And then one on that end. It's hard doing this in reverserised. And then, so that means that when you... this is my mock flat surface. When you put it down on something, so you're stirring your bolognese or whatever, your ragu or your caramel, and you got it on your thing, and you've got to put it in a bowl, and you don't want to... But no, look, see this? It's got a ridge, so it keeps it off the top, like that. Can you see? Oh, we can't really see. Anyway, look, I'll bend it, I'll exaggerate it, but it is for reals. Look, don't put it down that way, that doesn't work. And the third thing, which is the same feature, it's got a little hook on the end. So when you're stirring your marmalade or your salted caramel sauce or whatever, and your pan's really big, but your spatula's little, it always falls in, and then you have to either decide that the spatula is going to become part of the dish and let it cook down, which will take some time, or you try and rescue it, which is usually the better plan. But yeah, no, it sort of hooks in, it hooks on, so it doesn't fall in. It's really clever. See, humans are clever. They can do good things and some bad things, but this is good. This is a clever thing. This moves the world forward. Spatulas with hooks. So yeah, cheap bowls and expensive stuff. Angela, who used to run Sapphire Chocolates, taught me that. She also changed career. We used to know each other in an old life. Sapphire Chocolates is a lovely chocolate, Norfolk chocolate company. I think it's run by a granddaughter now. It's really cool. You should buy their chocolates. Tasty. Right, that's that. Then number 2. Number 1 is really good. It's really good. And it's 80p. You wait. Build the tension. Number 2. Digital Hermans. I used to be, in an old life, when I was at school, I was physics monitor with Ian Payne and Nigel Palmer. And we used to help set up the physics experiments. Such nerd. Anyway, for some reason they call them Hermans. I think it's some sort of in joke, but I've always thought of thermometers as Hermans. Anyway, they had this terrible thing. This is at CNS in Norwich, where this is the 1980s. You can't do this now. They had this bit of kit where you held these 2 metal things, and it set some sort of current going. It didn't really hurt you, but it set some sort of electric current, and you could increase the, I don't know what it was, I don't understand, but the frequency of the electrical current, which meant you couldn't let go of it, and it's quite painful. And this was the fun toy they used to bring out. Right. Anyway, it's quite funny. Yeah, you don't do that anymore in physics classes. They've got rules, I think. Anyway, digital thermometers. I think that you tell when things are cooked by measuring their temperature. I am not the sort of business owner or cook or whatever that believes that you can, 1, tell a sponge is cooked by listening to it or wiggling it or even just looking at it. You can't tell. You can have a good go I'm not saying everybody can't tell what a sponge is cooked by looking at it, but if you want to be more accurate, you measure the temperature of it, right? See, that's got a temperature. You can't see it. Anyway, there you go. There you go. Temperature. So yeah, when things are cooked, that corresponds with the temperature. This is something I brought from me old life about how I think I learned it from like dermatologists or something, but about how if you get a group of doctors in a room and you ask them to all describe the same thing, like to look at, like a rash or a bruise or something or other, they'll all give 100 different descriptions of it and all have 100 different kind of interpretations of it. That's a bit, I'm overstating it. I mean, people can tell what eczema is and not by looking at it, but you get the point that the people have different kind of opinions on what things look like and their significance, and it's very much dependent on the lighting and all sorts of other stuff. When you're cooking, people get really grumpy about thermometers, like, oh, you're taking the love and the joy out of it. But honestly, if you want consistency, so one of the big things about going from being a home baker to kind of doing it consistently and trying to earn money from it is you have to make the same thing every time, because someone who's come to your farmer's market week 1 and they come back week 7, they enjoyed it week 1, they want the same thing again, and so you can't be slightly baking it more or less, or you're not quite sure. Same with if you're selling wholesale to people, you have to be consistent with it. So temperatures are a way of achieving consistency. A really good example is these are posh ones, these are sort of thermopens, and they're about 60-70 quid, I think. We used to have cheaper ones, which didn't read quite so quick, so you want instant read thermometers. These read really quick, so they change really quickly. That number will change. The macaron classes we used to run, we don't do them anymore, we used to these thermometers ages to kind of register the sugar temperature and of the sugar syrup we're making the Italian meringue with. And the minute we switched to these, the difference it made to the quality of the macarons that people made was incredible. It was just overnight, suddenly they were neater, tidier, better. So yeah, instant read digital thermometers, they are expensive, but they're brilliant. I don't think these are amazing. I don't think I've ever changed. Has anyone out there ever changed a battery in a thermopen? I think they're sort of powered by some sort of, I don't know, supernatural physics force that must sort of tap into the core energy of the universe, the thermopen. They're incredible. Anyway, I'm not a thermopen advert person, but I do love them. Anyway, so instant read digital thermometers. Perfect. This is really good. And you'll think, what? But just wait there. In the bottom of my sac magique is a bowl scraper. Right. This is number 1. This is the best thing I've ever used in the kitchen. This is a Martellato, French. I think it's French shaped. So it's an Italian company, but it's got a French shaped bowl scraper. I don't know why that's French. Why is that French? What makes that shape French? I don't know. These are 89p. You have to buy 10 at a time, so £8.90. So a bit more of an investment, but these are brilliant. This is just, I don't know, this is probably your own hand has to have its own matching bowl scraper, but this works perfectly in my hand. These are brilliant. They're flexible, so you can bend them, so you can really kind of shape them to the bowl that you want to get stuff out of, which makes a huge difference. They're big, so you can really kind of scoop stuff up. So I use these at home all the time. If I'm chopping up a load of carrots and onions and celery and whatever and putting them in a pan to cook for a bit, to start of a sauce for 3 weeks cooking, chop them up and then scoop them in. It just this whole world, this whole sort of professional cooking stuff is all about systems and being organised and planning your movements and being prepared and thinking about your next steps. You can't just walk in like you would at home and it's all sort of chaos and onion peel and carrot peelings and stuff falls on the floor. You have to kind of do things in logical ways, and this is just one of those little things that makes you a better cook. And it just makes me feel hopeful for the world that you can cut a bit of plastic. It's a shame it's plastic, but anyway. And it makes such a difference to how well you cook. I think if you just have one of these in your hand, whatever you'll make will be better. So 89p Martellato comes from the Home Chocolate Factory. I'll try and, if I can work out the technological requirements of it, I'll put a list of where all these come from and try and not say they all come from Amazon. But yeah, Martellato bar scraper. There you go. What's your favourite bit of equipment? Tell me, I want to know. I love buying stuff. Not too expensive. I don't need any ultrasonic brownie cutters that cost £15,000, which this lot would quite like me to buy. Not getting that. But yeah, things. What bits of stuff make a real difference to you? Yeah, cool. I'll try and do this again. I get distracted by stuff, so maybe this will be the one and only time I do it. But I'll try and do it again. All right? Okay, thanks. Thanks for watching. Love you.